Welcome back to Oulton Park. Now I'm down here in the paddock to catch up with some of our Group 3 drivers. Once again, there was close racing right throughout the field in race 1, particularly in Group 3. I'm joined now by Andy Oulton, Chevron driver and winner of Group 3 in race 1. But unfortunately, bad news for you. What's happened?
We've hauled a radiator and we won't be able to go out into race 2, unfortunately. The lads have worked so hard as well. They're down at the workshop trying to weld the radiator, but unfortunately, it's not playing ball with us.
Of course, in the race itself, yours is quite an unusual car. You're up against all BMWs. How is that?
It's frustrating at times, but once we get clear of them, we can normally open a gap on them. But it's very difficult to actually get away from them because of the power they've got. Well,
something certainly seemed to work for you this morning, getting that win. Now, obviously, bad news today, going home. But are we going to see you out next time?
Yes, I hope so. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get a bit of support off some people and we can do better.
You really got the pace this weekend?
In qualifying I did. It rained, which made it wet and it evened out the grid, almost being a Class 3 car. I out-qualified a lot of the Class 1 and Class 2 cars, but then the first race being dry, I lost that advantage almost.
Then you're hoping for a bit of rain in race 2?
If it'd rain, it'd be fantastic, yeah. I'd be able to show all these other Class 1 and Class 2 cars how to drive.
Barclays, second place finish for you there in race 1. You had a lot of work to do there, didn't you?
Yes, I had a very poor qualifying, so I really had to work pretty hard to catch up.
What happened in qualifying then for you?
Nothing wrong with the car, so I have to take full blame myself. I couldn't get a lap together. I always had traffic, or it didn't work out. But we managed well, and race 1 was good.
Well, now going into race 2, of course you're starting in a similar position to race 1, so again potentially a bit of hard work there.
Hopefully, it was good fun in the first race, so this should be good this time as well, hopefully.
Excellent stuff, and what result would you be happy with?
I would like to get my class win.
Well, here we are down on the grid, ready for race 2 now. If race 1's anything to go by, we're in for a treat. We have lost 2 cars from the grid though for this one. Alex Martin hasn't made it back out after he went off at the end of race 1, and Andy Oulton also hasn't made it out after they've had a problem with their radiator and can't get a new one. So, starting on the front row, well, it's a Porsche-Ferrari battle. We've got Andy Oulton and we've got David Tomlin on the front row. It's going to be an exciting race. I'll hand you straight over to the commentary box.
Thanks, Charlie. Away goes David Tomlin in pole position. Look at this field of cars. Well, first race was very, very exciting. I think we can expect much more of the same second time around as the field head off on their green flag lap with in pole position David Tomlin, alongside him Andy Oulton. Then the second row of the grid, Benjamin Harvey well up in the KTM crossbow, and Toby Tarrant with us with the third row, Don Grice and Tom Andrew, really reflecting the variation of some of the cars on the grid. Well, 20 of them were due to take the start. Unfortunately, as Charlie was saying, we've lost 2 of them, so it's going to be 18 cars that follow around behind the safety car as David Tomlin pacing the field up over Dearly. And away we go. The thunder is unleashed here at Oulton Park as it's Andy Oulton who sprints into an immediate advantage with David Tomlin second, Toby Tarrant with his turns in third position, Don Grice up in fourth with Benjamin Harvey in fifth and leading Group 2 honours. David Hathaway and his Ferrari, together with Sean Winder, they're rounding out the field through Old Hall up to the head of the pack. It's Andy Oulton, and this is looking ominously like what he did in the second race at Silverstone, which is take the early advantage and try and drive off into the distance. Although David Tomlin, at the moment, is very near to his rear bumper. Benjamin Harvey also gaining ground in the KTM crossbow. He's up into fourth, chasing down Toby Tarrant with us. Tom Andrew going well in the Morgan in sixth, as Michael Simmons being pressurised by Danny Winstanley. Winstanley had a poor qualifying this morning. It's given him lowly grid slots for both races. That's why he's trying to race his way up through the pack. So he sets off him shooter Michael Simmons as this leading trio break into Tizzy for the first time. This Winstanley going to make the move stick on Michael Simmons. He moves the inside, but Michael having absolutely none of that. So Simmons maintaining that 7th position from Danny Winstanley. Then the next car through is the Group 3 leader, and that is Mark Radcliffe. So Mark Radcliffe making a very fine start to the race as they go over Clay Hill for the first time. Andy Oulton in from David Tomlin and Toby Tarrant. Look at these cars bouncing over the bumps here at Oulton Park. They look absolutely stunning, and you can really get an impression of just how quickly they're going as well through some of these turns as they break into Lodge. David Tomlin, can he do anything about Andy Oulton as they sprint up over Dearly and through to complete the first lap of the race? I'm sure he quite can this time into Old Hall, because Andy Oulton taking a slightly defensive line, so Tomlin follows him through. Great camera shot, you can see into the cockpit, and David Tomlin at work behind the wheel. As well, that's fortunately Colin Simpson in the Marcos, and that sounds well, it's always raspberry, but he's well down at the back of the field. I wonder if something's gone wrong for him on the first lap, because he seems to be a little bit out of the running. We go back to the head of the pack. And Andy Ruin still being kept very honest here by David Tomlin. Tomlin filling Andy Ruin's mirrors. And this is really for David Tomlin almost an opportunity to repay the favour from race 1, where he had to defend so much in the early stages. Now it's his turn to attack Andy Ruin. So they just drift onto the curbs. Mix of Britons coming over Hilltop, breaking into Hizzy's Don Grice, moving to the inside as he was just looking to the inside of Toby Town-Withers. We've got wave flags in the background. I think that's the Marcos, so Colin Simpson can just see there to the right of the screen. So Colin Simpson, the Marcos, has gone off at Cascades. That car's in a slightly prone position, so wait to see whether we get anything in the way of a safety car intervention. Not that there's any gap to be broken down between leaders, because they're still running line astern. As Don Grice continues his pursuit. Then Group 2, we've got Benjamin Harvey leading the Morgan of Tom Andrew, and then Danny Winstanley is the next man through. Don't forget Winstanley's a Group 1 car, as the safety car does come out. After several laps, the safety car was withdrawn. We're now well into the race, as Toby Tarrant-Willis having a great battle with Michael Saunders. Here's a change for Group 2, and it's Benjamin Harvey who goes back into the lead, demoting Tom Andrew in the Morgan. And look at Benjamin Harvey seesawing the wheel, going through Knickerbrook. Can really see into the cockpit of the KTM. It gives you a great view. This is the fight for 4th overall in the race and for Group 1, as well as we've got Michael Saunders in the TVR challenging Toby Tarrant-Willis and looking to draw alongside the Ferrari on the run to Lord's Lodge, although Tarrant-Willis covering the ground very nicely, although the body language of the TVR of Michael Saunders. Look at the slide on the rear. He is on maximum attack as he climbs up over Dearly. Superb racing, but Toby Tarrant-Willis is giving as good as he's getting, because he moves to the inside of Oulton, and the two of them absolutely on the limit. Although there goes Saunders, he's finally made the move stick. As we look at the Group 3 race leader, that is Mark Radcliffe. Well, he hasn't got the rain he was hoping for, but he has got a good advantage, as here is the Group 2 fight. It's as we were, which means there's absolutely nothing between Tom Andrew and Benjamin Harvey, who continues to lead the group. Andrew in the Morgan looking to challenge Benjamin Harvey at Shell. Well, that's an Andy Yule manoeuvre we saw in race 1, and so no way through, unfortunately, for the Morgan. As here comes Michael Saunders, still pushing very hard, and that's tyre smoke, and that's gravel, and that's Saunders going out of the race. Well, he's not hit anything, but there's no way he's getting out of there, as we are into the final stage of the race. Just one corner to go for Andy Ruin. He has had almost a lights to flag victory. It's been a great drive from Andy Ruin. He comes up over Dearly for the checkered flag goes out, and Andy Ruin claims his 3rd win of the 2011 GT Cup Championship season, punching the air with delight in the cockpit. He really enjoyed that. Door open, waving to the crowd. I think Andy is very pleased with the afternoon's work, and look at Danny Winstanley up into 2nd. Benjamin Harvey through Lodge for the final time. He is going to win Group 2. It's been a great drive from him, a superb dive for Tom Andrew. And here comes Mark Radcliffe. And Mark is going to claim Group 3 honours. He's had a wonderful afternoon in that BMW. So up over Dearly goes Mark Radcliffe. Checkered flag is out, and he claims the Group 3 honours. Another very exciting race from the GT Cup Championship, battling throughout the field. And that gives us a final result, with the win going to Andy Ruin from Danny Winstanley in 2nd, Toby Tarrant-Willis in 3rd. Benjamin Harvey was 5th and won Group 2, and Mark Radcliffe rounding out the top 10 and claiming the Group 3 honours. So in terms of the group results, well, Group 1, it's as we were, 1 to 3 in the race. Andy Ruin from Danny Winstanley and Toby Tarrant-Willis. Group 2, Benjamin Harvey from Tom Andrew and Francis Glasham, well done to him to get on the podium. And Group 3 was Mark Radcliffe from Bartley Dougal and Adam Hayes. Well, now the racing's done, it's the onerous task of posing for the cameras, although smiles all around on the podium.
Well, Andy, congratulations. Your 3rd win out of 4 races. It's turning into be quite a good season for you.
It's a good start, but it's a long season. There's still some quite quick cars there. It was a wet to qualifying, so that made it a little bit different. Some people were out of position. Certainly Winstanley was further down the grid than he otherwise would be, and he was catching me towards the end, so I got a little bit lucky this time.
This must feel really great. Your first season with GT Cup, it's only the 2nd round and you've already taken your 1st win.
Yeah, I think I deserved it, to be honest with you. I qualified really well. The qualifying was it's put me in a really good position on the grid, which allowed me to have a head start on the other guys in the group. And I've been plagued with problems last season and my previous races, and again at the start of this season I had problems at Silverstone with suspension braking, and then I ran out of fuel in the first race today. So I just wanted to have be able to drive the race and get to where I knew I could get.
Well, as we leave Oulton Park after a frantic day's action, it's Andy Ruin who leads the Group 1 Championship by 12 points from David Tomlin, who's being chased by Michael Simmons, who's just 10 points adrift. In Group 2, it's Francis Galashan who leads the way by just 2 points from Sean Winder. Great fight between them with Tom Andrew, currently third. And then Bartley Dougal continues to lead Group 3, although Adam Hayes and Andy Yules snapping at his heels. In terms of the overall championship, it's Andy Ruin who leads the way by 12 points from David Tomlin, with Bartley Dougal in third. The first of the Group 2 runners is Francis Galashan, and he's in fifth.
Well, that's it for the racing here at Oulton Park. The rain's just started right at the end of the day, but what a fantastic couple of races we had there. And of course, now heading towards round 3, the championship battle really starts to get interesting. Next time out will be at the fabulous Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. It's long, it's fast, it's curvy, and it suits these GT cars right down to the ground. So why not join us then, either in person on the 5th of June or right here on Motors TV at 7:25 p.m. on Friday the 17th of June. It's going to be another fantastic couple of races, so make sure you join us then. Bye for now.